So pretty stunning development here from McKinsey, of course, the global consulting giant of much fame where Pete Buttigieg got his start.
Yes,
of course,
that's right.
Had previously been reported, and this came out in some of the litigation against Purdue Pharma for their central role in the oxy addiction crisis, that there was some American company that had worked with them suggesting ways to provide incentives to try to get more people onto oxy. Well, it came out that that was, in fact, McKinsey that had been involved with that. And even more beyond that, correspondence was revealed where you had people at McKinsey saying, hey, we need to dump the documents and get rid of all the documents involved in our consulting with Purdue. So McKinsey has now come out and issued an apology. This reminds me very much of the Cokes being like, oh, sorry, we really screwed up here. Issued a rare apology for their role in OxyContin sales and amid fallout from the November 27th story on McKinsey's work with Purdue Pharma. Many McKinsey employees are angry. Lots of new detail. Read to the end. So they're apologizing. They also say they're going to have an internal review. But, I mean, Saagar, and here's their statement here for what it's worth. As we look back at our client service during the opioid crisis, we recognize we did not adequately acknowledge the epidemic unfolding in our communities or the terrible impact of opioid abuse and addiction on millions of families across the country. I guess they're saying, whoops, our bad here. Zero accountability. I mean, how many lives have been lost? How many families destroyed and ripped apart? The amount of heartbreak in this country because of McKinsey and their complicity here is outrageous. And all of the people who were involved, as far as we know publicly, zero accountability. All in their jobs, all still making plenty of money, working for this consultancy, and there is nothing that they have done to really make amends or show that they have changed their approach whatsoever.
Absolutely zero. And people need to remember the nefariousness of the scheme. This was a McKinsey proposal in 2017 in order to get people to buy more Oxy. Like 3 years ago, we knew exactly the Oxy heroin connection, like all of that. And in order to do that, they were proposing, this is how disgusting they were proposing that Purdue pay CVS and others a rebate for the amount of Oxy that they are distributing. Now, didn't end up happening, but that's the scheme that they were basically, I mean, this is drug dealing. I mean, what else, right? Like you have a middleman, you're like, hey, more you sell my product, I'm going to give you more. It's a highly addictive substance. They knew it was addictive. They even estimated in their proposal around addiction rates and the number of people that overdose on pills, how many extra people would die as a result of this policy. And they didn't care. They still recommended it to them. Think about that. That's like a true banality of evil level stuff. That's what we talked about on the show when we discussed this topic. It's just so completely crazy.
Yeah, white-collar drug dealing. You think that it's enough to be like, sorry, we didn't really get what we were doing. I mean, also, isn't it your
No, but they knew what they were doing. That's the thing.
Obviously, they knew what they were doing. Yeah. And look, it's not just, I mean, this crisis has ravaged America, and I know that when we get the numbers for this year, it's going to be worse than ever. But McKinsey has been complicit with, I mean, working with all kinds of dirty regimes and
Saudi.
I mean, just
China.
Horrible things, all just in service of the almighty dollar. So no indication here that they're actually changing their ways. They just want to do a little bit of ass covering.
Not a surprise, but still terrible.
Thank you all so much for joining us today. We wish you a happy holiday season. We're going to be back tomorrow with more Rising.
That's right. Remember to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of our videos. Don't forget to like and share as well. And we will see you all tomorrow.